Hi, today is February 13th, 2024, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 240 for the year, the Ansonia. The Ansonia is not the Arconia. The Arconia is on 86th and Broadway and is actually called the Belnord. The Ansonia on 73rd and Broadway has a rich history, as does the Belnord, as do many other glorious buildings in the neighborhood. But today I think that all 5 poems will have something to do with the Ansonia. I'm sure the next 2 will. Let's see how it goes. Poem number 241, Plato's Retreat. Yesterday, Wikipedia told me that the famous sex club Plato's Retreat was located in the basement of the Ansonia. As I passed by it last night, I closed my eyes and tried to picture all of the fucking and sucking and sucking and fucking that must have gone on back in the 70s, but I couldn't. I think it had to have been more fucking and sucking and sucking and fucking than I could even begin to imagine. And I can begin to imagine a hell of a lot. Poem number 242, Continental Baths. Before it hosted Plato's Retreat, the basement of the Ansonia was the location of a gay bathhouse called Continental Baths. In addition to being a place you could go for gay sex, Continental Baths was a music venue. Barry Manilow played piano for Bette Midler. Perhaps you might have heard Midnight Blue by Melissa Manchester or Lady Marmalade by LaBelle at the Continental Baths before or after, or both, some gay sex. Before and or after some gay sex. That's the line. The Manhattan Transfer, Melba Moore, Liz Torres, Wayland Flowers, Nell Carter, and Peter Allen also all performed there. When I say they performed there, I don't mean sexually, but I don't actually know. Maybe sexually too. It was the late 60s and the early to mid 70s. Things happened. Poem number 243, People Who Lived There. Many famous people I have heard of, and many I haven't, have lived at the Ansonia. The ones I have heard of include Sarah Bernhardt, Caruso, Jack Dempsey, Theodore Dreiser, Richard Dreyfuss, Angelina Jolie, Mahler, Menuhin, Babe Ruth, Stravinsky, Toscanini, and Florence Ziegfeld Jr. Many famous people I haven't heard of live there too, but I'll name only one, Abdul Baha, son and chosen successor of Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith. The Baha'i were among the many groups that used to hand out flyers about themselves. The Baha'is were among the many groups that used to hand out flyers about themselves in Washington Square Park to try to get impressionable NYU students involved in their faith. I took the flyers when I was a teenager and chatted with them now and then, but that was as far as I got with that. They seemed like an interesting group, and it kind of blows my mind that their leader lived in the Ansonia over 100 years ago. I wonder who lives there now. And the last poem of the day, poem number 244, Yves Beauvais. I personally know one person who lived at the Ansonia at one time. Yves Beauvais A&R'd my most commercially successful record. He was hands-off for much of the making of Happy Hour, but he wanted the vocals on Detachable to be more prominent. I was concerned because the vocals were mixed too high on the previous album, which he didn't A&R. But Yves was able to explain to Steve, the engineer, what he wanted, and I was happy with the result. I credit Yves with making that one significantly more commercially viable than it might otherwise have been. Maybe the next time he's in town, I will take him to lunch. All right, that's it. Thank you. Stumbled a bit there, but regardless, you know I appreciate you. I do.